Hi guys, welcome back
Hello.
to ConceptInk. Yeah, sorry we've been MIA for a bit, but we saw that you guys had a lot of questions in the comment section.
Yeah,
so
we have read everyone's comments, and most of the questions we can make it into three main categories. First, knowledge about what is light, what is shadow, all this stuff. And another one will be technical question, exactly how to render, how to set up your workflow for a particular subject like environment characters, or how to design. And the third is about mindset, how to prepare yourself better to
or
be
how to
a concept
approach
artist.
learning concept art.
Learn how to learn, like what we always say.
So yeah, let's dive into the questions. The first question, what is the general syllabus when it comes to learning concept art?
From my opinion, the easiest to start learning concept art by yourself probably is focus on the art values.
But why do you think it's important to focus on the art fundamentals first?
When you want to show people what that design is, you cannot just talk about the design. You have to show them, oh, this is the product, this is the shape, that's the function.
So if you don't really have the skills to execute,
visualize it, to draw it,
communicate the design.
So it's quite hard to further learning how to
Other
design.
stuff.
And art fundamental is easier to organize. Like you can start from line drawing. When your line get better, you can color wash it, introduce the color and material,
And then painting.
slowly paint over the lines and focus more on rendering, lighting, shadow,
Perspective.
hard and soft and all this stuff. You can gather all the information online. It's easier to learn art first.
I think someone asked how our students were able to do exploded view of the Nintendo Switch and how we find parts that exist inside. So in terms of finding reference for things that are quite niche or like how things work, I always tell the students here to not only just go on Google Images, but you can go on YouTube, you can look at documentaries, look at how people actually take the thing apart, and then take screenshots or look at the blueprints of the manufacturing blueprints of how they actually make it. Yeah, because if you're just looking at a finished Google image of the advertising, it's obviously difficult to see how it's made.
For me, I just take it apart. When I was young, like it's not so fortunate like you guys. Everything can search online. Yes. After something spoil at home, we will just open it up and find this part from another product, assemble some part into some part, fix the thing. So at my time, we do it this way.
Yeah.
Of course, now you just research. I guess most of the stuff you can find online these days.
Find like unconventional ways that you can look at books and manuals, go to the library, not
In the
just...
past library,
Yeah.
you draw the bigger form first in explore the view. You don't draw the small detail too early. Good perspective for the bigger forms. And then break the big form into medium section and then small detail, usually, like that.
Sorry, third question. Would you happen to have any reference material to point to for drawing your handwriting?
Recently, we have a presentation in the school and students doing great work, but the handwriting is terrible.
And it's such a shame because sometimes the work is really good and then the layout and handwriting can ruin the overall impression.
Because they really write what they want to describe the drawing as writing, but in a presentation, especially like design presentation, you really want to treat your handwriting as an artwork, like you draw it.
So the same with drawing. It's good to find reference maybe of handwriting. Like I would look at maybe industrial product design or architecture fonts and handwriting and then try to emulate that. Look at the negative space and proportions of how each character is formed.
I try to make all my handwriting like forming a square shape or rectangular shapes because I find that drawing is graphic, layout is graphic. So my handwriting, I will try to make it just one of the graphics. Yeah, that's what I will do.
Why don't we start by drawing the horizon line? Wouldn't it make it much easier than to draw all the perspective lines before the subject?
Oh, okay, the 1, 2, 3 plus the horizon line of the video. Usually, drawing horizon line and adding 2 vanishing point, that's a academic way to study perspective. It's not how we draw. Only if you figure out the design, every spec of design is already there. We choose an angle using all the perspective grids and stuff. But when you're designing, you don't even know your design. How you know this angle, this eye level will look good for this type of design when you don't even know what is the design. So usually when I'm designing, I will not draw the eye level. I just draw what I feel is comfortable. Figure out your design, then bring in the 3D,
refine it into perspective.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to even start with a perfect perspective.
You even start with just a side view or front
Yeah.
view. But remember, with 3D doesn't mean good perspective. Isometric is with 3D, but with good perspective means there's distortion, foreshortening, stuff like that.
And a lot of the times before, when I used to just start with grids, I would feel very trapped. And then all the designs start looking like a box.
Yeah. Because you start drawing all the grids, and the grids create a box first. Right?
So your brain's already in that.
Yes, you already have a box in the 3D space, and you try to design something. So usually the box will affect your decision.
Okay. When designing or making a painting, do you ever worry about the focal length or FOV of the camera lens? Are you very precise about that, or do you just go for an approximate estimate of a wide angle or narrow lens?
It's the same as the vanishing point and eye level. When you're design means you don't know what is the design. You roughly just have some word in your head. You don't set all this stuff too early. Because you wouldn't know if the angle is like best fit for that kind of subject. You're drawing let's say a creature, a dog. Is it the side profile more interesting or the front view more interesting?
Because it depends on the subject matter.
It doesn't work this way. So you design first, with or without perspective, and then present another version that have good distortion or foreshortening. Same as the camera lens, wide angle or zoom lens.
But when you already have your design,
then you
definitely think about like the composition, because the camera angle really affects the scale of which your design.
Our student, they will quickly go to Blender, create a very low poly version, like 3 minutes, and play with the FOV. You have an idea, this thing look good in this extreme wide angle.
Because you
so
also
on paper,
don't
you draw the same.
You don't want like your focal points or areas that are very important to be like too distorted or
By the way, human comfortable FOV is like 35 to 50. Usually capture better like what humans see.
But usually in Blender, I bring it a little bit lower than 35. 20 to 35.
It saturates a little.
Yeah, especially for environments, it looks more.
But you can base on what at least humans see it in this like 35 to 50.
Because anything above 50 would look a bit more isometric. Will there be a future tutorial on shape language, anatomy, or human proportions?
Yeah, definitely. We can do that. Shapes, proportion, functionality, and detail.
Maybe we can also cover anatomy, breaking it down in a more concept art focus.
So when we talk about character design, a lot of students, they don't understand what exactly character design means. A lot of them draw anatomy and all this stuff, but in concept art, sometimes character design is costume design. You know? This person have this occupation and you design this kind of costume for them.
What happens when there are multiple objects in the same scene but do not share the same vanishing points? That's usually most cases.
My eye level, 1 point perspective. Then
unless everything in the scene is
2 point.
is rotated at the exact same angle, everything will have different vanishing points. Just as long as all the vanishing points go on the same horizon line, then you're good. So
basically, there's only one eye level or horizon line, but you can have multiple pair of vanishing points.
These are the worst drawing tips I've ever seen. Sorry for asking the most hated question by artists. What is the brush at 11 seconds into this video?
Whoa.
Talking about brushes, right? Because we had this conversation before. It's not really about what specific brush it is, but understanding the attributes as to like which different kind of brushes you should have.
There's only hard or soft. Hard edge or soft edge.
Texture.
Hard transition to soft transition. Usually transition is soft, but sometimes you can transit from the center of the brush to the profile of the brush with texture. It's not soft, but it's transit. So it's hard edge, soft edge, or hard transition or soft transition. With texture or without texture. So the last one will be more like those pure texture brush. They also rotate the texture while you're drawing. So I don't really care about those.
At least you would have one hard edge, one soft brush that you can use like pen pressure with.
with or without. Like you can control the opacity by yourself, like what our students do. You can also do it by pen pressure. That is more feeling based. Yeah.
How to make guidelines in Photoshop for perspective. Is there a Photoshop tool we use? Yes. Rulers and the pen tool.
Yeah, there's a lot of simple tools, but we use it for concept art in a more flexible way. They are not built for that kind of purpose, but with some idea, creativity, they will work magic in concept art.
Would it be possible to make a video about shortcuts, Photoshop, and Wacom settings?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we can explain more in maybe a Photoshop episode. Or
Yeah,
something.
we can make an episode about it. Do you guys do any online training classes?
Never thought of that for fundamental and beginner. More advanced artists maybe, but there's a lot out there. So the reason why beginner, or if you are trying to learn fundamental, you shouldn't go online training, because learning art is not about information. It's not about what people say. It's about how you do it, how you hands-on, and what you hands-on first, and then stack on the next one until the advanced information, right? Information is not knowledge. Knowledge is while you keep practicing correctly about the information many, many times, and then it slowly turns into knowledge. Online training is just information, right? Very hard to measure and track your progress.
I mean, for this channel, we're kind of imparting information.
I cannot make you
Yeah.
suddenly have this knowledge,
All
but I
the
can give you
skill,
all the
yeah.
information. Yes. Today I tell you about how to paint for my student in the school. I know next week I'm gonna see something, and immediately I will give them feedback, and the following week they will show me the result of how they apply my feedback. But for online training, I tell you about this project. Will you work on it? I don't know.
I mean, it's not impossible.
idea.
It would just take maybe a lot more
A lot
time.
longer, and
Yeah.
also only if like I ask you to do and you really do it. You may not do it. You may do some other things. Then we start lost track in this progress. In-person training, I can manage this stuff, and I can see your progress, what's next or what's missing, and you should do this first. Then only you able to understand the next step. Online is very hard, because you can go to a website and buy whatever you want. Even you have everything, but no one will organize for you. Maybe you need this first before you can understand that, but too bad. It's still beneficial for people who already have the fundamental, but it's very tough for beginner to just learn online. Yeah.
I think it's possible. It just takes a while.
Human only have that much of energy. Okay, maybe in school you can do it in 1 year. If it's not in school, it takes
Yeah,
longer.
it just depends how much time
You haven't
have.
considered will a
Yeah.
human give up. When you try too long, you have to face the reality. Your brain will tell you to stop. Once your brain thinks it's impossible, it will just give up. Don't create this kind of thing for yourself.
Next question. I worked on a personal project with my friends and realized that they have a bigger visual library than me when they were designing. They were coming up with tons of ideas to solve one problem while my mind was blurred and stuck only on one solution. I asked them and they told me they just scrolled on social media to look for what they were interested in and then save that stuff in categories for future use. Is this a good method to develop our visual library?
What I try to understand is, you mean you can draw without reference if you have those visual library. If that's what you mean, saving your images is useless. You can go online and just save 1,000 images. You will not remember even a few of them. So your brain is not a memory card or hard disk. Your brain is just to solve problems. So the only way to make images become part of your visual library, you need to create a project that use some of them for whichever part that involved in this project.
That's why even here at the school, we have a themed, like maybe it's medieval themed, and there's props and costumes and vehicles from that time period, and we just make you draw things from that time period. And
Yes. Whatever we do as a human is controlled by our brain. You see things is from the brain. The visual is in your brain. You use your hand control, your brush, software, pen to draw this thing. Your eye look at that thing, your hand draw that thing. Like it's all go through your brain. So when your brain keep dealing with this kind of repeat action, it start to remember some. Actually not remember. It's more like your
when
brain
you do
think
it.
this thing is important for you, and not try to filter it out. Your brain is not a memory card, like I say, it don't remember stuff. Just try to keep those that can help you survive. So you have to trick your brain that, oh, this image, I draw it for 6 hours, probably it's more important in my life than those images on Instagram, I just look at it for 1 second. Those images you save, it will be always in the folder, that's all. Visual library is about what you've seen, what is in your background.
Your experience.
Your experience. If you're from a village, you always know more about village life. If the project is just happen to be about native village farms and all this, you probably know better than everyone else. You know? Like even they do a lot of research, may not able to understand half of what you've seen every day. You know, like if you already have this kind of background, you need less reference. If you don't have this kind of experience, you will need a lot more reference or study.
I think part of what they said is true, like looking for what you're interested in. You know, maybe you're really interested in vehicles and then you want to go more into that. But just saving them isn't enough. I think you actually have to go in and do the research and, you know, look at the reference, draw, break it down and understand it, then just saving it, saving a bunch of images. That's not really going to retain the information.
In the old time study, art is a little more lucky or unlucky in the same time because we don't have that much of access to reference.
Everything.
No tutorial online. We use the old school way. If you want to learn a face, you draw the face. I spend 6 to 10 hours to draw a face is like the most common things. But this day, tutorial always like finish something in 1 or 2 hours. It creates a lot of wrong expectation for a student. When they spend time for more than 2 hours, it's too long. They start to feel, oh, I'm too slow, I'm not good. At my time, build up visual library is a little easier. We just go library and read book and draw. No, you cannot even take a photo from library. If you want to remember that, you have to draw it many times. Now, too easy to access to anything. At the end, it's just your computer hard disk have more images, but not your brain. So
be aware of
it. Yeah. So in FCD and now in this school, we still stick with the traditional way to build up our visual library. We make students draw every different subject that relate to the entertainment industry. Yep.
So this isn't really a question, but I think it sparked some conversation. So this person said, "Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge with us. From the past few months, I have been doubting myself, and the fear of failure inside me is not even letting me practice. Art should be fun and enjoyable, and I will practice more. You are right, I'm limiting myself." So thanks for sharing these kind words and supporting our channel. And we want to preface that we also doubt ourselves.
I doubt myself every
day.
Every second, even now.
The imposter syndrome is
even now
forever.
I'm doubting myself now. Honestly, like, can I really share information to public? Am I really good enough to share? But just
it's
do
normal,
it because everyone can learn something from everyone. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Fun and enjoyable depends. If it's for yourself, yes, arts could be fun and enjoyable if you're just learning. You draw to see improvement, you draw to show someone. Some people appreciate the effort. You can also enjoy and have fun while working, but it's more than that because someone pay for this work.
Hinging on the fact that it has to be fun and enjoyable, if you want to make it your career, will cause yourself a lot of suffering. Because a lot of the times you might be getting like harsh critique from people.
Correct, because people pay for it. They have expectation, not like when you just do it for yourself. When you do it for yourself, you have your expectation, but you also forgive everything that you don't do well, right? You will not blame, you will not judge, you will not critique too harsh, right? Even your friend will not say much. But a client, they pay for a product, they expect something worth the price that they pay. When you buy a product, you don't want it to be not
You ask for a refund, right? If it's not what you wanted.
So you need to work professionally instead of just with fun in your mind.
To detach your own self-worth and like the learning and fun of art, like all this.
You can always
from
draw
the job.
Yeah, you can always draw with friends. Like the activity that we create, we always have fun. It doesn't matter how good or bad.
We created that community to try and bring back that sense of drawing without having judgment.
In the industry, we need to be responsible. Someone pay for it. We need to make sure we actually did our part to help them solve their problem in visual. So solving their problem may not be the things that you like the most, but it's our capability to do that. When they show me that, oh, this design is good, I can put it in the game or in the theme park or something. I find it very enjoyable too. But it doesn't mean when they
It's
say
always
no, then
gonna
you
be-
have to feel
yeah.
bad, you know. Like,
Just don't take it personally.
yeah.
Yeah. Last question. Wondering if you guys could do some critique thing for people who are self-learning. And yes, we have set up a Discord channel in the description, and you guys can feel free to send in your work. In the future, we'll probably just compile them if there's enough and create a feedback or paint over.
We can make an episode of a YouTube video just for that purpose too. But whoever want to participate on this first need to allow us to use your image.
Yeah, you have to be okay with us putting
paint
the images.
over, draw over, talk about it. We will try our best to be very objective, not feeling based or whatever. But we hope you guys will understand too. Like if you send in the drawing and let us give you feedback, that means you trust our judgment or decision or whatever background that we have. I will not sugarcoat anything. I will not for the sake of being mean or. Okay.
I think that's it for all the questions. Yeah, if
That's
you guys
fast.
have any other ones, pop them in the comments. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.